today. I know you are ready for this new lesson. Welcome to Mathematics 6, Quarter 4, Module 3, and our lesson is about reading and interpreting electric and water meter readings. I am Teacher Zen, your guide in answering your module. The activities in here will be of help that you can be able to, number 1, read and interpret electric and water meters. And number 2, solve routine and non-routine problems involving electric and water consumption. Your interest and patience are encouraged to make learning fun and enjoyable despite this new normal mode of learning that we are experiencing now. You need also to listen carefully and follow the instructions given. So what are you waiting for? Get ready now. Prepare your pen and paper. We are going to start. Good luck! To start with our lesson, try to answer the items below to gauge how much you already know about reading electric and water meters.
For numbers 1 to 3, write the electric meter in kilowatt hour. Write your answer on your paper. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. For numbers 4 to 8, you are going to complete the table. Write your answers on your paper. On the first column, you have here the present reading. On the second column is the previous reading. And on the third column, we have here your water consumed. Number 4, present reading is 8,978 meter cube. And the previous reading is 8,112 meter cube. Number 5, 1,876 meter cube is the present reading, and 1,753 meter cube is the previous reading. Number 6, 7,872 meter cube is the present reading, and 7,781 meter cube is the previous reading. Number 7, 5,674 meter cube is the present reading, while the previous reading is 5,585 meter cube. And number 8, the present reading 4,955 meter cube, and the previous reading is 4,934 meter cube. Let's check your answers now to find out your scores. Number 1, 7,646 kilowatt hour is the answer. Number 2, 3,812 kilowatt hour. Number 3, 1,052 kilowatt hour. Number 4, 866 meter cube. Number 5, 123 meter cube. Number 6, 91 meter cube. Number 7, 89 meter cube. And number 8, 21 meter cube.
In checking your own paper, always remember the saying, honesty is the best policy. All right, count your correct answers now. Who got a score of 6? How about 7? And 8? Wow! Very good! If you got a score lower than 6, don't worry. You will learn more as we proceed with the lesson. Now that you are finished answering what I know, let's proceed to lesson 1.
Read and write the dials of the electric meter below. Write your answers on your paper. Number 1. What is the reading in kilowatt hour? Number 2, what is the reading in kilowatt hour? Number 3, what is the reading in meter cube? Let's see if your answers are correct. Number 1, 53,703 kilowatt hour. Number 2, 7,415 kilowatt hour. And number 3, 3,518 meter cube.
Good job! This time, let's study the following meter readings.
This is an example of an electric meter. How do you read and interpret the electric meter reading above? Okay, let's find out later if your answers are correct. We have here also an example of a water meter. How do you read and interpret the water reading above? We'll see if your answers are correct as we go on with our lesson.
Now, let's study deeper about electric and water meter.
What is an electric meter? An electric meter is a device that measures the energy transformed from electrical sources to our devices at home. Most electrical meters at home are located at a conspicuous place outside of a residence for quick access by representatives of electrical companies to do their monthly readings. In reading an electric meter, it is easy. There are two types of electric meters being used by electric companies. One is the digital type, which indicates kilowatt-hour readings by digital numbers. The other is the dial type, which is the most commonly used electric meter. Consider the following readings and how the final reading is determined. Present reading 00199. Previous reading 00125. And the electric consumption 74 kilowatt hour. An electric meter shows readings of energy. The unit of energy reflected in an electric meter is the kilowatt hour, a unit of measure that reflects the product of power and time, giving the quantity energy. In an electric meter, notice that there are 5 dials, and inside each dial is a pointer which indicates the number to be read. The pointers will alternately turn clockwise and counterclockwise. These dials measure the number of kilowatt-hour as devices are used for a particular period of time. The illustration shows the following meter readings on each dial. Dial E. The pointer is directly on the number 7. Record as 7. Dial D. The pointer has just passed 4 and is between 4 and 5. Record the lower value 4. Dial C. The next dial look like it is right on 8, but the dial to its right has not passed 0. So record this as 7, the lower value. Dial B. The pointer is between 2 and 3. Record the lower value which the pointer just passed to. Dial A. The dial has passed 6 and is between 6 and 7. Again, record the lower value, 6. Thus, the electric meter reading is 62,747 kilowatt hour. Take note, always read the dials from the right to the left, starting from dial E to dial A. Each dial will turn in the opposite direction. So if your first dial turns clockwise, the second dial will turn anti-clockwise. Be sure to remember this when recording your reading. In general, if the meter dial arrow is in between two numbers, record the number with the lower value. Taking a digital electric meter reading. On a digital meter, you should record all the digits shown on the display. It is not important to include any zeros at the beginning. In the example, the meter reading is 9,410. What is a water meter? A water meter is a device that measures the volume of water delivered to a property. Some water meters measure water in gallons, while others measure volumes in cubic feet. Most residential water meters are located near the curb or sidewalk at the front of the property in a concrete box. The water meter box will have a metal or plastic lid and may be marked water meter. Reading a water meter. The older style of water meter is with small dials. It looks like a series of small clocks that turns clockwise. See the illustration that follows. The unit used for this measurement is cubic meters. The rules of reading a water meter with dials are similar to the way an electric meter is being read, but with the rightmost having the greatest place value. Meter reading 3,518 meter cube. To read water meters, number 1, start reading from right to left, clockwise. Read the number by the pointer of the dial. When the pointer is between two numbers, the lower number is recorded. Number 2. If the pointer appears to be exactly on a number, check the next lower dial to the right to find out the correct reading. If the dial on the right has passed 0, then use the smaller number on the dial you are reading. Record the numbers from right to left as illustrated in the figure. Computing water and electric consumption. To compute for water or electric consumption for a particular period of time, simply subtract the previous reading from the present reading.
Now that we have studied the steps to be followed in reading electric and water meters, let's answer the activities under What's More.
Draw the pointers on the dials as shown in each item. Do this in your answer sheet. Number 1, 0, 3, 9, 3, 2 kilowatt hour.
Kilowatt hour.
Number 2, 0, 1, 6, 4 meter cube. Give the reading of the following meter readings. Write your answer in your answer sheet. Number 3, blank kilowatt hour. Number 4, blank meter cube.
Let's check if your answers are correct.
What's more? Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4.
Before we move on to the next, let's check what you have learned.
How do we read electric meters? Number 1, always read all the dials from right to left, starting from dial E to dial A. Number 2, read the number by the pointer of the dial. When the pointer is between two numbers, the lower number is recorded. If the pointer appears to be exactly on a number, check the dial to the right to find out the correct reading. If the dial on the right has passed 0, then use the number that the pointer is pointing to. on the dial you are reading. If the dial has not passed 0, then make use of the smaller number on the dial you are reading. How do we read water meters? Number 1. Start reading from right to left clockwise. Read the number based on the pointer of the dial. When the pointer is between two numbers, the lower number is recorded. Number 2. When the pointer is directly on the number, look at the dial to the right. If it has passed 0, use the next higher number. If the dial has not passed 0, use the lower number. Record the number from right to left. Simply subtract the previous reading from the present reading to compute for water or electric consumption for a particular period of time.
In the next activity, you're going to read and solve the given problems. Write your answers on your paper.
Number 1. The De La Cruz family closely monitors their electric consumption. The figures below show the readings on their dials for the previous and present month. What is the electric consumption of De La Cruz family for this month? $128 kilowatt hour. Inkyamad knows how to conserve energy. She turns off the light bulb when not in use and switch off their electric appliances when not in use. How about you? Can you name some ways on how you can conserve electricity to reduce the amount of electric current and to reduce electric bill? How? Number 2. Irene's record of her family's water consumption read this way: present month and previous month. How many cubic meters of water do they consume for this month? $1,240 meter cube. Inwayang learned in their science subject that water is very important in one's everyday life. In order to help prevent water pollution, she invited her friends for a tree planting activity and made posters with regards preventing water pollution. At home, She helps reduce their family's water bill. She helps in conserving water by always closing the faucet when not in use. How about you? How can you help prevent water pollution? And how can you help in conserving water? Assessment. Give the reading for each meter. Write your answer in your answer sheet. Number 1. Blank kilowatt hour. Number 2. Blank kilowatt hour. And number 3, blank meter cube. Letter B. Draw the dials to show the meter reading. Write your answer in your answer sheet. Number 4. 2,321 kilowatt hour. Number 5, 1,382 meter cube. Let's check your answers. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5.
So we now proceed to lesson 2 of your module. This time, we're going to solve routine and non-routine problems involving electric and water consumption. Let's get started!
Study the table below, then answer the following questions. Write your answers on your paper. Question number 1. Which household consumed the most electricity? The answer is household D. Number 2. Which household consumed the least electricity? The answer is household C. Number 3. Which households consumed almost the same energy in kilowatt hour? The answer is household A and C. Number 4. Reyes family's water consumption is 117 meter cube. If their previous water meter reading was 531, what is their present water meter reading? The answer is 648 meter cube. And number 5. Last month, the water meter reading of a household was 1,552 meter cube. The following month, it was 1,596 meter cube. If the basic charge of water consumption per cubic meter is 2 pesos and 55 centavos, how much will they need to pay? The answer is 112 pesos and 20 centavos. Alice has a computer unit that has a power requirement of 200 watts. If she used her computer for 3 hours every day, how much electricity would she consume in 30 days? How will you solve this problem? To solve the problem, use the 4-step plan to solve the given problem. Follow the steps below. Step 1. Understand. A. What is asked? The total number of electricity consumed in 30 days. Letter B. What are the given facts? Power requirement of 200 watts. Uses her computer for 3 hours every day. Consume in 30 days. Step 2. You need to plan. A. What operation shall we use to solve the problem? Multiplication. And B. What is the equation to be used? 200 times 3 times 30 equals N. First, multiply 200 watts to 3 hours to determine the consumption for the day. Then multiply to 30 days. Step 3, you solve. Show the computation. 200 watts times 3 hours equals 600 watt per hour. 600 watts times 30 days equals 1,800 watt hours in 30 days. Answer: the total watts consumed in 1 month is 1,800 watts. And step 4, check. Look back what is asked in the problem and check the answer to the problem. Let's take another example. Last month, Alice had a water reading of 1,341. This month, the reading is 1,382. How much water was consumed during the given period? Step 1. Understand what are asked. The water consumption of Alice during the given period. B. What are the given facts? The previous water meter reading is 1,341 meter cube. The present water meter reading is 1,382 meter cube. Step 2. Plan. What operation shall we use to solve the problem? Subtract previous water meter reading from present water meter reading so that you will get the difference between that corresponds to the water consumptions in cubic meters. Step 3. Solve. Letter A. Show the computation. Present reading, previous reading, subtract it. The answer is 41 meter cube water consumption in 1 month. Step 4. Check. Check your answer. This is one way on how to check if the answer is correct. Go back to your computation. Check if all the given values are properly used.
This time, let's answer the activities under What's More.
Number 1. Rowena's family made a record of their 3-month electric consumption. The initial reading was 1,476 kilowatt-hour. The following table shows the succeeding monthly readings. January, 1,532. February, 1,597. And March, 1,646. In what month did they have the highest electric consumption? February is the answer. Letter B. What was the average monthly electric consumption of their family? .67 kilowatt-hour is the answer. Below are water meter readings of 4 houses. House A, House B, House C, and House D. Which house has the lowest water consumption? The answer, House C. Letter B. Which house has the highest water consumption? The answer is House B. In solving routine and non-routine problems involving electric and water consumption, the 4-step plan can be used. The following is the 4-step plan. Step 1. Understand. A. What is asked in the problem? B. Know the given facts. Step 2. Plan. A. Know the operations to be used to solve the problem. B. Write the equation. Step 3. Solve. A. Solve the problem. And step 4. Check. Look back, check, and label your answer. Try to read and solve the following problems. Number 1. On March 1, the water meter reading of a given household was 1,456 meter cube. On the last day of March, the reading was 1,499 meter cube. How much water was consumed for the given period? The answer is 43 meter cube. Number 2. Last month, Kim's electric meter reading was 4,945 kilowatt-hour. The following month, the reading was increased by 65 kilowatt-hour. What was the reading of the following month? The answer is 5,010 kilowatt-hour.
How are you now, children? I presume you have learned a lot from the different activities related to electric and water meters. Now, let's now gauge how much you learned by answering the assessment.
Read read and solve the following problems. Write your answers on your paper. Number 1. Mr. Tan computed his monthly electrical consumption. Based on his electric bill, last month he noted the reading to be 146. When he checked his digital electric meter, the current reading was 189. How many kilowatt hours did Mr. Tan consume so far? Number 2. Last month, the water meter reading was 1,489 meter cube. The next month, the reading was 1,565 meter cube. How much cubic meter of water was consumed? Number 3. What is the water consumption of a certain laundry shop for 1 month if the present water meter reading is 785 meter cube and the previous water meter reading is 562 meter cube? Number 4. Jing's records of her family's electric consumption are as follows. Initial reading 123, January 244, February 448, and March 659. Letter A. What is their family's total electric consumption for 3 months? Letter B. Find the average monthly electric consumption of Jing's family for 3 months. Let's see if your answers are correct. Number 1. Mr. Tan computed his monthly electrical consumption. Based on his electric bill, last month he noted the reading to be 146. When he checked his digital electric meter, the current reading was 189. How many kilowatt hours did Mr. Tan consume so far? The answer is 43 kilowatt hour. Number 2. Last month, the water meter reading was 1,489 meter cube. The next month, the reading was 1,565 meter cube. How much cubic meter of water was consumed? The answer is 76 meter cube. Number 3. What is the water consumption of an electric... Number 3. What is the water consumption of a certain laundry shop for 1 month if the present water meter reading is 785 meter cube and the previous water meter reading is 562 meter cube? The answer is 223 meter cube. Number 4. Jing's records of her family's electric consumption are as follows. Initial reading, 123. January, 244. February, 448. And March, 659. Letter A. What is their family's total electric consumption for 3 months? The answer is 536 kilowatt-hour. Letter B. Find the average monthly electric consumption of Jing's family for 3 months. The answer is 178.67 kilowatt-hour. Additional activity. Answer these activities at home. Write your answers on your answer sheet. Let's try to read them. Letter A. Write the water consumption given the present and previous water meter readings. Present, 7,846 meter cube, and previous is 7,698 meter cube. Number 2, present, 6,724 meter cube, previous 6,596 meter cube. Letter B. Below is a table of electric consumption. Complete the table. Item number 3. The previous reading in kilowatt-hour is 2,345 and present reading in kilowatt-hour is 3,549. Item number 4. Previous reading is 2,350 kilowatt-hour and the present reading is 4,500 kilowatt-hour. Item number 5. Previous reading 3,570 kilowatt-hour and present reading is 4,590 kilowatt-hour. Letter C. Read and solve the following problems. Number 1. On January 15, the water meter reading of a given household was 1,398 meter cube. The next month, the reading was 1,453 meter cube. How much water was consumed? Number 2. The water meter reading of a given household on February was 1,829 meter cube. What was the water consumption if the following month's reading was 5,941 meter cube. Number 3. The present meter reading shown in Mrs. Ramos' electrical meter is 6,512 kilowatt-hour. What was the last reading if the family used 42 kilowatt-hour? Number 4. Mr. Jose's family consumed 150 kilowatt-hour for a month. If their previous electrical meter reading was 3,000, repeat. Number 4. Mr. Jose's family consumed 150 kilowatt-hour for a month. If their previous electrical meter reading was 31,748 kilowatt-hour, what was their present meter's reading? And number 5. Last month, my electric meter reading was 3,411 kilowatt-hour. The next month, the reading was 3,619 kilowatt-hour. How much energy in kilowatt-hour did I consume?
All right, we're done with your module. I hope you learned a lot from the lessons and you were able to answer correctly all the activities. God bless everyone and see you all again next time. Goodbye.